You'll have to excuse the noise of the washing machine. But this is a 2000 Volkswagen Golf. It originally came to me because it was in limp mode, had 0 power, wouldn't go nowhere. If you know, you know. But it had no power, it was in limp mode. I took the turbo out originally, which is this unit. It was seized. That's all the movement there is left of it. It's supposed to go back like another half inch. This won't come apart because it's old and rusted and just junk. So the owner is upgrading to a BorgWarner S7 because he's still running the factory intercooler piping. You have to get this adapter from them. It adapts down from the bigger size down to the factory sizing. I already took off the EGR plate. Apparently the car came from Mexico, I believe, so a couple things had fallen off of the vehicle to make it a little bit easier to work on. But I just took the turbo out again. I already went through and did the manifold cleaning, made sure the heads were clean. The injectors are out right now. They are on their way back from Kerma. It's getting DLC 1019s. And then, of course, the BorgWarner S7. And they give you everything. They give you the intake manifold gasket. The exhaust is under there. Nuts and bolts for the downpipe. They did have a braided oil feed, which it already has one. 3-bar map sensor, which part number is covered, but it's a Bosch 3-bar map sensor. There's supposed to be the tuner in the box. I didn't see it. Customer might still have it. I'll have to check with them, but there was supposed to be Kerma's tuner in there. Once I get this all together, I have to hook it up, get them the ECU files, and then they're going to send me one specifically for this vehicle. But side by side on these, there really isn't much difference in size, at least that I think. I don't think there's that much in size. But this one, I've seen tunes for ranging up to the 180 horsepower tune. He's not going to do anything like that because, of course, again, if you know, you know. It won't like it. But I'm going to throw this in real quick. Also, there is with the S7, if you have a I think it's like a 2003 Mark IV, you have to get a different oil drain set up, which in this pile of junk is this stuff. They give you new fittings, new oil drain. Sorry if I said oil feed. You have to get a different oil drain, which is in this bag. And then to give you EGR gaskets, that one right there is the oil drain gasket, nuts, bolts, well, just the nuts. And then that rubber O-ring is for the intake manifold. Usually where the ASV valve and like the EGR valve would be, that's where that is. But again, the car must have came from Mexico. Some of that trash fell off, and now there's just what the cool kids call race pipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in, at least get it bolted to the head, and then it's probably all I'm really gonna do tonight. Just get this bolted down so it doesn't fall off. They already adjust them from the factory where they need to be for the vacuum, or where the movement has to be for the vacuum. But that's probably all I'm going to do for tonight, because in reality it only takes a couple minutes to get this bolted up. I do have a full 3-inch exhaust to put on this as well, downpipe back, which I'll show in a different video once I'm actually ready to put it on. We'll kind of compare the factory and the 3-inch. But I don't think there's too much of a difference. If I can get the cap off. At least that it's nice, new, and shiny. The vanes move. Everything should work good on this thing, hopefully. But I'm going to throw this in. That's probably all I'm going to do today. And then the injectors, I think, should be coming in tomorrow or Tuesday. So I'll probably work more on this tomorrow, getting everything else, getting all the intake manifold and all that junk bolted back up. Once the injectors come in, they're super easy. I'll go through all that, show them whenever I get them, so you can see the nice new injectors. This car only has like 102,000 miles. It's been owned by the same person since it was new, I believe. Just a one owner. And they just kind of babied it around, which is why, shouldn't really say that. All these turbos eventually seize up unless you're giving them the beans from the factory to keep them hot and clean. But also going to do a trans service, because again, if you know, you know. And an oil change, I believe, is all of the stuff I have for it. Gotta find that tuner. But I'm gonna throw the turbo in, and I'll come back here in a second. All right, so the new turbo, it's at least in. It's not fully bolted down. But don't worry about that red spot. There's new exhaust. The old oil feed that he had fit, so that's good. The only thing, hopefully you can see it, that you're gonna have to do, this old intercooler pipe, well, you can't see it, but it goes straight and then comes up to connect to the old turbo. Since this one shoots straight out like you see right here, you have to cut it right here, about 1.5 inches back, just so it slips over there, screws on, but that's no big deal. You also have to change the turbo drain, which is a 15/16 bolt. Again, I believe that's pre-2003 ones. It's a 15/16 bolt. Take that out of the block. Kerma gives you an adapter that you screw in there, and then it connects to the feed they give you with this turbo. Aside from that, it's really the only modifications you have to make. Everything else is plug and play. Of course, the actuator vacuum tube is hooked up and clipped in, but the other intake tube that holds it, routes it all up, isn't in here, so I can't show you that. That's all I'm going to do for today. I think the next thing is going to be removing the downpipe so I can put the new one on, bolt that up with the new gasket and all. Once that's on, I can finish all the work up here, actually bolting up the turbo, tightening it down, putting the intake manifold on, finish replacing the pipe that goes from the manifold to here, install the map sensor, which you may or may not see it, if it'll focus. Right down in there with that bolt. It's down in there, so probably have to take the wheel off the wheel liner, maybe just drop down that intercooler, probably clean it out while it's out, because oil likes to puddle inside of them. So I'll probably do that for him, just take that out, clean it up a little bit, and then throw it back in. But that's all for today. I'll be back probably tomorrow to finish up the manifold and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll go from there.